The story of Christian Grey and Anastasia Steele was supposed to conclude with a clean, cinematic resolution. 50 Shades Freed closed the book, locked the Red Room, and offered a tidy, if unearned, happily ever after. But for years, an engine of fanatical obsession has kept the narrative spinning, culminating in a phenomenon that is both a lie and a terrifyingly accurate prediction: the viral, fan-made concept trailers for 50 Shades 4. These trailers are not the product of simple fan editing. They are sophisticated, chilling pieces of algorithmic cinema. They utilize cutting-edge AI technology to fuse footage from Jamie Dornan's entire body of work, specifically his roles in the psychological thriller genre. They meticulously stitch together his cold, predatory intensity as the serial killer Paul Spector in The Fall with the bewildered intensity of his character in The Tourist. This is the audience's unspoken message. The fans are rejecting the romanticized, billionaire fantasy Christian Grey and demanding the psychological thriller the books promised, but the films failed to deliver. The dark brilliance of these concepts is that they are superior to the source material. They present a Christian Grey stripped of his romantic sheen, exposing the manipulative, controlling, and deeply damaged man who viewers always suspected was beneath the expensive suit. This insatiable desire for a dark, dramatic sequel, one often titled Revenge or Retribution, proves the fan base wants Christian's past to finally destroy his present. This demand for a devastating sequel is the ultimate self-generated marketing test the studio is currently ignoring. The original sin, creative control, and the broken set. The first and most significant barrier to any original cast return is the trauma inflicted on the production crew. The 50 Shades trilogy may have been a financial success, but its set was a war zone of creative conflict. Director Sam Taylor Johnson described her process with author E.L. James as a continuous, miserable battle, comparing the experience to wading uphill through sticky tar. This friction was not about artistic vision, it was about unprecedented, unilateral authorial control. In a landmark deal that ultimately broke the franchise's creative backbone, E.L. James was granted final, absolute say over every creative choice, from script dialogue to wardrobe to the most minute details of the sex scenes. This is the original sin of the franchise. The consequence was a disastrous domino effect. When Taylor Johnson departed, an original screenwriter Kelly Marcel was replaced by James's own husband, the integrity of the project collapsed. Jamie Dornan spoke of the breakage in trust, noting that the sensitivity and understanding of the original director was lost, replaced by a mandate that prioritized slavish adherence to the text over cinematic quality. For Dakota Johnson, the cost was the total loss of agency. She was forced to perform a version of Anastasia Steele that she openly disliked, admitting she signed up for a different version of the movie, but was trapped by contractual obligation. Why would two A-list actors, who are now highly selective about their work, willingly step back into a production where their artistic voices were so brutally silenced? The answer is simple: they wouldn't. The actor's fortress, the price of the golden cage. For Jamie Dornan, the decision against 50 Shades 4 transcends money or artistic merit. It is a matter of personal security and mental health. While the role of Christian Grey gave him global recognition, it came at the cost of his private life. Dornan has been transparent about the insane scrutiny and the accompanying ridicule he faced, forcing him to delete social media and actively seek obscurity in his career choices. The hysteria of the fandom, an audience that refuses to distinguish between the actor and the fictional character, was the true crisis. This culminated in the terrifying real-world invasion known as the Stalker incident. Dornan spoke openly about the moment a fan, obsessed with the conspiracy theory that he and Dakota Johnson had a secret child together, showed up at his private residence while his children were present. This wasn't a tabloid rumor, this was a direct psychological attack on his family's safety. Dornan's career trajectory since is a deliberate, calculated defense mechanism. He is actively building a fortress of prestige roles, thrillers like The Undertow, where he plays twins, challenging his range, and the Apple TV Plus heist series 12-12-12, specifically designed to distance his public image from the erotic franchise. To invite the fever-pitched mania of a new 50 Shades sequel would be to willingly dismantle the wall of privacy he has spent years building. For Jamie Dornan, the answer is categorical. The financial incentive of a sequel is not worth the re-endangerment of his family. The psychological and cinematic dead ends. Even if the actors could be lured back, the franchise faces insurmountable narrative problems. The Christian Grey paradox. The character is fundamentally broken. His abusive behaviors, the stalking, the extreme control, the lack of boundaries were lightly dismissed in the original films as quirks that Anna could fix with her love. A sequel today, in a more socially aware cinematic environment, would need to address his genuine psychological damage, turning the film into a serious drama about narcissism and abuse, not a fantasy. The viral fan-made concept trailers understand this. They are darker because modern audiences demand accountability for Christian's past. The feud and the final trust. The infamous brother and sister defense that Dornan and Johnson used to deny their rumored feud was a joint PR effort to contain the crisis. While they reportedly respect each other now, the complete lack of a passionate, believable connection on screen, combined with the extreme pressure, broke the cinematic trust required for a fourth intimate film. They would be performing not a love story, but an endurance test. The inevitable conclusion, the age of the reboot. The final, definitive verdict remains. A true 50 Shades 4 with Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson will not happen. The only life left in the franchise lies in a complete cinematic reboot or a spin-off. As the 10-year anniversary of the first film approaches, the studio must eventually choose. The prequel, focus on Christian's traumatic, abusive childhood and his relationship with Mrs. Robinson. This would be a dark, gritty, prestige TV series, a true psychological drama that leverages the character's backstory while avoiding the original actors. The reboot. In a few years, a new generation of younger actors will be cast, willing to sign the multi-film contracts and tolerate the initial wave of scrutiny. This new version would be structured to correct the mistakes of the first trilogy, likely adopting the darker, thriller tone that the fan-made trailers have already provided as a free marketing blueprint. The ultimate irony is this. The passion and obsession of the fandom, which created the most compelling version of 50 Shades 4, is the very force that guarantees Jamie Dornan will never return to the role. He has paid his price, and the golden gate of the Red Room has been permanently sealed.